and welcome to another episode of I Watched This as an Adult Movie Reviews. I am your host, Mikkel Ford. Today we are going to be talking about Transformers Rise of the Beast. If you like what you see, or if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 views. That is my second goal. I got to 100. I'm over 100 right now. I'm actually over. So, but like that next goal is 1,000 views. So, if you guys can help me get there, if you can like and comment, tell me what you thought of Transformers: Rise of the Beast, and also subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at I Watched This as an Adult 85, and also follow me on Twitter at Watched Pod. So let's talk about Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I just saw this movie. Uh, Technically, this is a sequel to Bumblebee, which that's a movie I surprisingly enjoyed because personally, I think the Transformers franchise has been dreadful. I fucking hate it. I heard The Last Night was the very worst of the franchise. I say that because I didn't watch it. I didn't see it. I kind of jumped ship from Transformers after the third movie. And the third movie, fun story about that. The third movie I got ambushed with. Because like I was done after Revenge of the Fallen. Because like Revenge of the Fallen, I thought Revenge of the Fallen was bullshit. And then I went over to a friend's house and he had the third Transformers movie, which I think that's called what, like Dark of the Moon? He had Transformers Dark of the Moon. And that movie pissed me off even more. Pissed him off too, by the way. Like we were both pissed watching this movie. And I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm done. If they make another Transformers movie, I'm not watching it. And like there's been like what, 7 Transformers movies, I think. From the advertisement I've seen, I think there's been 7 Transformers movies. But like The Last Night was the one where I think a lot of people were just like, yeah, this is some bullshit. But like the one thing I hate about those movies, like those movies were just the epitome of toxic masculinity. You know, and like I hate using that word because like it's a word that's used a lot, but that's what they were. It was just a lot of toxic masculinity and racism and just a lot of things that are wrong with America. It was just a lot of things that were wrong with America in that movie. And I couldn't wait for this franchise to end. But then I heard that they were making a Bumblebee spinoff. And I was very tentative of that because I was like, oh God, I just want this franchise to end. It looked like The Last Night tanked this franchise. It looked like it was done. I thought it was scot-free. I fucking hate these movies. But they were making a Bumblebee spinoff, and I was just like I said, very tentative about it. I was like, I don't know about this. We shall see. Then I saw the movie and I loved it. It was my favorite movie of that year. I think when it came out, like 2018, 2019, I think it came out like in the late 2010s. And ended up being one of my favorite movies of the year. I love Bumblebee. I've watched Bumblebee several times, actually. It's like the only Transformers movie that I've watched multiple times. Other than the first one. The first one had its flaws, but they didn't really get into like the Michael Bayisms that they wanted to get into. Like those other movies. They took that to the extreme. But Bumblebee is a movie that I really enjoyed. Shockingly, I shockingly like that movie. Like it's one of the best Transformers movies I've ever seen, and it gave me hope for the franchise. So, the Rise of the Beast revived the franchise. Let's talk about it now. This movie was directed by Stephen Caples Jr., who directed Creed 2. He directed Creed 2. So I had hope because I like that movie. I like Creed 2. I like all the Creed movies actually so far. I like that. So this is how I'm gonna do it. Let's talk about the pros and let's talk about the cons of this movie. We're gonna talk about the pros first. I like that this movie tries to blend storytelling and action together. Mostly, I like that this movie tries to tell a story, which is something that was missing from the other movies. The other movies didn't give a shit about story. This movie actually tries to give us a coherent story because we follow this guy named Noah, played by Anthony Ramos, who's this down on his luck soldier who's looking for a steady job to take care of his family. It's relatable. You can relate to that. His brother has sickle cell and he needs money so his brother can continue to receive treatment for the sickle cell. Very simple story, very relatable story. So I like that. Another thing I like about this movie was that there weren't a lot of rude jokes in this movie. There's no gross out humor. There's no sexual humor. There's no racist humor. The jokes that they have here were actually funny. Think about that. The jokes in this movie were actually funny and they didn't offend anybody and they didn't sexualize anybody. Wow. Who would have thought that was possible? Wow. It it wasn't really like a joke filled movie anyway. Like the jokes were put in like sporadically. Like it wasn't like Transformers Comedy Jam, they weren't doing that. Like it wasn't like ha 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 joke 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 joke. It was just like they put a joke in there sporadically. That's what they would do. Um, the Autobots weren't just CGI killing machines for once here. They actually had personalities. What a concept! Giving the Autobots personalities. Who would have thought that? Uh, for better or for worse, like they had personalities. The standout for me was Mirage, played by Pete Davidson of all people. Like I actually like a Pete Davidson performance. God damn it. I would have never thought. But like he's actually really good in this movie. He's actually really good in this movie and he's actually really funny. I was shocked. I was shocked because I heard Pete Davidson in this movie. I was like, I'm not really that much of a fan of Pete Davidson's comedy. He's not my cup of tea, but he's actually funny in this movie. I enjoyed him a lot. I think he's a standout in this movie. Optimus Prime is kind of racist in this movie though. Like, I'm surprised he didn't when he transformed. I'm surprised when he transformed. Like he didn't like transform and have like a MAGA hat on and like a Trump 2024 sticker slapped on his ass. Optimus does not like humans in this movie, like at all. He doesn't like humans. It's not that he doesn't like them. Like he's just kind of skeptical of them. But like I like what they do. I like what they do. They do a good job of explaining why he's like that, and he has like this natural story arc of him coming around and accepting the human race. Like they turn it around. Like somebody does, like a human does something for him, and he's just like, you know what? Yeah, the humans are worth saving. Because he doesn't think that the humans are worth saving. Because he's just like, I want to go home. I want to go back to Cybertron. That's what I want to do. Because that's the other storyline of the movie is like the Autobots are trying to go home. They're trying to go back to Cybertron, and they're using Anthony Ramos's character to get back to Cybertron. But like I said, like a human does something for Optimus, and he's just like, you know what, the humans are worth saving. I've come around on the humans. The humans aren't bad after all. And Bumblebee's trying to tell him that. Like Bumblebee is just like he was like the humans are my friends. Like he was just because he was here and like he got acquainted with what's her name, the girl name, Haley Steinfeld's character. Like he's like he became like accustomed to humans. He likes humans. So he was just like, the humans are my friends. And he's trying to tell Optimus that. And Optimus is just like, I don't know about that. But he comes around, obviously, and starts to like the humans and start to think that the humans are worth protecting. Um, Daniel Fishback is amazing in this movie. Like the camera just loves her. Like, she has the best facial expressions, and like she just like every time she's on camera, like she just steals all the spotlight. She just steals all the spotlight in this movie. Like, she has it's like she has this like sexy but innocent and intellectual charm to her. That I just love. I love it to pieces. Like she is amazing. Like she is amazing. Like she's going to be a star. She is a star on the rise because she has so much fucking charisma. She has so much charisma. Like other than like the other things I've seen her, I think the first thing I saw her in was Project Power. She was in Project Power with Jamie Foxx. Get well soon or whatever's going on with Jamie Foxx. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Jamie Foxx. I'd hate to segue, but like, what is going on with Jamie Foxx? Like the people saying that he's okay. I guess he's okay because I think. But segue. I digress. Um, but yeah, man, I saw her in Project Power with Jamie Foxx. She had a small role in Judas and the Messiah. She played Fred Hampton's wife in that movie. She has a show on Prime called Swarm, which I have not seen yet, and I kind of feel a little guilty about that. I'm gonna check it out one of these days. One of these days, I'm gonna sit my ass down and watch Swarm. I've seen that famous scene. The famous scene. You know what I'm talking about. But I need to check out the show and see what's going on. But Danielle Fishback, that girl's a star on the rise. I say girl, but like that's a grown ass woman. I think that woman's like 35. you know, I think she's like 35 years old. She's in her 30s. And like another thing, like she has like this child, like I said, she has this child like innocence to her, you know, where it's just like it just brings you in. But yeah, she's good. She's really good. Anthony Ramos is not bad here either. I just don't see him as a leading man though. I just don't. Like he has this like John Leguizamo vibe to him. And I could see him being a great character actor, which I've seen him in things. I've seen him in things where like he's good, but like in doses. Like I said, he could be a great character actor. I could see him like finding this role, like this great, just really subdued role that will like win him an Oscar someday. I could see this guy becoming an Academy Award winner. I really can. I could see that for him, like soon. I could see that for him, like real soon. I'm not talking about like 10 years from now. I'm talking about in the near future, like 3 to 5 years from now. I could see this guy being an Academy Award winner. But he's not leading action man. I don't see that in him. I just don't. I don't see that in him. I see him being a great, like, subdued, like, artistic character actor that will win Oscars, like multiple Oscars. I could see him being that. I could see him being I could see him being like a Daniel Day Lewis. I say he has a John Leguizamo vibe to him. He does have that. John Leguizamo's a great actor. Like he's a great actor also, but like I could see him being kind of like a Daniel Day-Lewis type, where like you put him in a movie and you're like, who's a standout in that movie? Anthony Ramos. You're like, that's the guy, and like I could see him taking that route and being like an Academy Award winning actor. I could see him doing that, but like action hero guy, I don't, I don't see that for him so far. He may change my mind. He may do something that I'm just like, damn, wow, this guy can be an action hero, but it wasn't here. I didn't see it here. The last thing I like about this movie is the soundtrack. Like as a '90s hip hop head, like this soundtrack like warmed the inside of my heart. I love this. Like they played Diggable Planets, they played Black Sheep. Of course, they played Biggie. Biggie's one of my favorite rappers of all time. I know it's like the most corniest thing to say right now. Like I love Biggie, but like I grew up on Biggie. I love Ready to Die. Ready to Die is one of my favorite albums. Next to Illmatic. I know corny to say, but those albums don't have any skippables. Like I could listen to Ready to Die. I could listen to Illmatic all the way through. Like no skippables. No skippables in those albums. Um, but yeah, like I said, like warm my heart. I love '90s hip hop. '90s hip hop is my favorite genre. Other than metal, like other than metal, I love '80s hip. I love '90s hip hop. I like '90s R&B also. So like, it's '90s R&B is probably like a third choice for me, but but yeah, man, I love the soundtrack. This soundtrack was really good. The last fight in the movie was pretty good too. I enjoyed that last fight scene. It was pretty well put together. I enjoyed that. Now let's get to the cons. You notice throughout this review so far, I did not talk about the Maximals at all, which they're kind of a part of the title of the movie, The Rise of the Beast. They are the beast, the Maximals. But I didn't talk about them at all. That's because they're barely in this movie. They're barely in the movie, and when they are in the movie, only two of them get the shine. And that's Optimus Primal and Air Razor. Like they're the only two that really get the shine. I guess because of who's voicing them. Optimus Primal is voiced by Ron Perlman. Air Razor is voiced by Michelle Yeoh, who is a recent Academy Award winner. Speaking of Academy Award winners, Air Razor is played by Michelle Yeoh. I guess that's why they get a lot of screen time when they are on camera, because they got those two. But Cheetor and Rhinox, they're the other two Maximals that are in this movie. They get the shaft. Like they don't do much of anything. Rhinox doesn't even have any lines. Like he just stands there. He just stands there, and when the fight happens, he's fighting. That's it. Like Cheetor has maybe 3 lines, and Cheetor is quite possibly like the second most popular Maximal in Beast Wars. So I found it kind of shocking that he doesn't get a lot of screen time and he doesn't get a lot of lines in this movie. He's like Cheetor is the Bumblebee of Beast Wars. Like he was like the young, energetic, wide-eyed Maximal, like he always liked to get into adventures. So I don't know. Hopefully they rectify this in another movie. Hopefully they rectify Rhinox, because Rhinox is the smart Maximal. He's like the brain, the tech geek of the group, and Cheetor is like I said, like the fun-loving, like wide-eyed, innocent Maximal, like Bumblebee is. He loves adventure. So like I said, hopefully like the Maximals get another shot in a movie, maybe a spin-off movie, and they get to show what they could do. And hopefully they bring my boy Rat Trap in there. Rat Trap wasn't in here. I was kind of mad at that too. But I don't know. Maybe a giant rat is something that you probably don't want to see on screen. But hopefully they bring him in the sequel. We'll see. Um, They fight the Predacons in this movie. Like I said, like the villains are lame. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. The villains are lame. The Predacons suck. Like they fucking suck in this movie. Like they don't even like fight the Predacons from the Beast Wars show. Like they fight like Predacons I've never even fucking seen. And like they work for Unicron of all people. They work for Unicron. Like I also think they brought in Unicron too soon. I was looking at this, I was like, nah, you don't bring in Unicron in the second reboot. This is the sequel to the franchise, and like you're bringing in Unicron, like he's more of a main boss villain. Like you save him for the final movie. He's a Thanos character. He's a Galactus. He's a dark side type character. You don't bring Unicron in the second movie of you trying to rebuild your franchise. That's not what you do. Like I said, like you save him for the final movie. Like I feel like he gets wasted here. Like he gets wasted because like you barely see him. Like he's just a extinction level event is really what he is. Like I said, you bring him in for the final movie. You don't bring him in here. Like there was no need for him to be here in this movie. It kind of brings the movie down a little bit, knowing that he's here. Like I don't know who voices him because he does talk, he does speak, but like, and if you are bringing Unicron in, like you tease Unicron, you tease him. He's in the background, like Marvel did with Thanos. Like you tease him. You don't show people Unicron like, oh yeah, here's Unicron. He's coming to take over the Earth. And then you defeat Unicron. Like spoiler alert, they defeat Unicron. You know that, but you know that how I'm talking about this, right? Um, but yeah, you don't bring him in now. You don't do that. Uh, yeah, man, like they wasted a very big villain. Like this is the movie where like you bring in the Predacons, you bring in the Decepticons, like you bring in Megatron and Starscream and Soundwave and like all those villains. That's who you bring in. You don't bring in Unicron and like a bunch of like throwaway Predacons that I don't even fucking know. I don't even know these people. Anyway, overall, I think this movie had potential. I think it had potential. I see things that work going forward in this franchise, like better storytelling, better character development for the humans and for the Autobots. Like all the Autobots were fleshed out. Can't say the same for the Maximals, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, like I said, that works. I see things that don't work. Like I said, they needed more Maximals. They needed more of them, but maybe they'll, like I said, like there's always room for improvement, and they're trying. I got to say that they're fucking trying. I saw a movie that was trying. This is a great rebuilding period for the Transformers franchise. Like I said, like this movie gave me hope for this franchise moving forward. Like I said, this movie's like they're trying. They're really fucking trying. And I gotta get it. I gotta get this movie an A for effort. It's not better than Bumblebee. Bumblebee is still top tier, but it's a close second. It's a close second. I have to say that. I get this movie a 4 out of 5. It's like I said, there's some things in there, there's some nitpicks in there that I did not like, mainly the villain on the villain side, and the fact that the movie's called Transformers: Rise of the Beast, and you don't have a lot of beasts. You don't get to see the Maximals very much. But other than that, I thought this movie was fun. I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5. that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Peace.